Hello and welcome to this week's Rocksmith developer stream. I'm your host and the community developer for Rocksmith, Doug Lilly. I'm glad that you're here with us today. Today we're going to look at 3 songs from the Sevendust song pack. We're going to play through them like we always do. We're going to talk about them. We have prizes we're going to give away throughout the stream. And as always, as usual, Brian Turner, aka UB Jurassic, will be in the chat with you to take your questions, get those questions to us, and we'll answer some of those throughout the stream. Coming up today, like I said, we've got Sevendust. We've got a new face, which is very exciting, and some details about that. What goes along with having that face be new. That checks out. Right now, let's take a look at the Sevendust song pack trailer while I figure out how words work, and we'll be right back. We are back. Welcome. If you've never stopped by to watch one of our streams before, I do want to say thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, hanging out with us. What we do here is typically we will look at the past week's the current week's DLC, as I was trying to stumble through earlier. We'll take a look at that music, talk about it, and give away some prizes. All that's coming up right now. I want to introduce our first guests of the day. Immediately to my left. Hello, Ryken.
Hey, Doug.
Welcome back. How's it going?
That's great.
Good.
Good to be here.
To your left, we have Emmy Batista.
Hello.
Hello. I see we've got some. This is a pretty metal looking guitar.
Yeah, it's the most metal guitar in the office, so I had to grab it.
There might be one that's sort of up there, but in a different direction, I think. But yeah, I don't think we see this Washburn very often. What do we know about this Washburn? Do we know anything about it?
Oh, Washburn. I thought you. Yeah. No, Sam Schwartz used to use this,
Oh, okay.
and it's detuned. It's already tuned down. I think it's based off of maybe Dimebag style or
looks
something
like
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dimebag Daryl signature model. There you go.
There you go. Emmy, it's been a while, I think, since we've seen the viola.
Yeah. It keeps coming and going.
Yeah, yeah. I forget. Is that yours or is
This
that
is
an
mine.
That's your personal
The
one? Is there
Hoffner's home to
the
see.
Hoffner? Okay, gotcha. So the two of you, you're gonna play Praise, which is one of the 3 songs from Sevendust. Sevendust, if well, you just heard Sevendust in the trailer, but they're I think the 3 songs that we have are from the late 90s through early
Animosity.
2000s. Yeah,
Except for the last one. Except
Yeah.
Black is from an earlier album.
it's from their
That was
first
a
album.
great heavy album, in my opinion. It
Yeah.
was like the heavy album
Yeah.
of the 2000s, right?
That was they were sort of I was talking to David earlier. They sort of had a very specific niche in that scene.
And
that
would
sort
you
of-
call it metal? Is it metal
I
or
would call
not?
it a type of metal. I think they're definitely in that circle. They probably have some
I
aspects.
guess it's new metal, spelled with an N-U.
there's
new
they get looped into
is not
new
new
metal
anymore.
Not new
and
anymore.
alternative metal.
Yeah.
I think alternative metal is probably the safest bet because they use a lot of metal artifacts, but
Yeah.
they sort of experiment around.
Great,
that.
great production.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
like the
And
guitar
I
tones.
think they were in the 90s and early 2000s. They were on a lot of soundtracks and like compilation albums because that's where I first heard them.
Okay.
I heard like a couple of songs off different soundtracks, probably in the 90s, and then checked them out from there. So yeah, Praise. Yeah, let's get into it. Take
Let's
a
do
look at
it.
Let's do it.
Lowering expectations.
Again, if you've got
No
questions,
practice.
if you've got questions, hit up UB Jurassic
But
in
it's
the chat.
Pretty
This
easy
is not
song.
good.
What did you expect? Fools often sometimes forget who really knows what's the truth. Often dignified, how funny changing the tide. It feels like you already knew. That's the downfall. You would never run in circles. Feels like you already knew. That's the downfall. You would never run in circles. Feels like you already knew. Now you realize, always you lived in a dream. How would it feel if you could see past the light, oblivious to all of my cries? No help when I knew you could. Say you, I would never deny you. Even though your hate for me is strong, I'm not worth. I'm the one who
Yeah, yeah. So pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
for the most
yeah.
part.
Just a
It's-
song that's overall super fun to play, really easy, and super heavy sounding.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It makes you feel tough when you play it.
It's got some fun rhythms.
does.
In the bass at least. There are a few things that I wanted to ask you about with this song. So let's talk about dynamics. I noticed in the office. I noticed your dynamicism
Oh boy.
more often than most. Yeah, words are hard. So how important are dynamics to you in a song like this?
I think it's hugely important, and it's a little more subtle when you have the super heavy tone. So your dynamics is not coming from like cleaning up the tone. It's coming from, are you palm muting? How much are you digging into the riff? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And by dynamics, I just mean like loud versus soft. So you might be playing a little bit more delicately in some parts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the verse of this song, you got the introduction of the riff. It's like
Let's see if
It's
we might,
still
we might-
heavy.
Might be able to get you some sound. It's heavier when there's volume.
does it get any heavier than
Does it
no
get any heavier?
sound?
Fuck those freaks,
Oh.
man.
Oh.
Maybe I need to fix it on this end.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're trying to blame the board.
Anyway, there was between like palm mute and the chorus, wide open.
Yeah.
Something powerful about just downstroking,
Yeah.
drop C sharp chords.
Another thing I noticed in the
Awesome.
song is
Heavy
there's
tone.
I don't think there was as much on the lead part. It might be in the rhythm, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of ornamentation. So you've got those sort of rhythmic hits on the other guitar part.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about with the palm muting and stuff.
yeah.
I think those are just kind of like, there's nothing special about them. They just come at the right time. You know,
Okay.
you have to accent them.
And
They're more like rhythmic accents.
if you're just starting on lead and you've got a solo like this, it's very
Yeah.
very approachable, very straightforward. What can you learn from a relatively simple solo like this?
Well, one tip I would give, because it is pretty simple. Same problem. One thing I see like beginner students doing a lot is not anchoring their fingers, so they'd be playing this like,
Right.
and it just makes your job a lot harder.
Right.
So I always tell we have anchor zones for a reason, right? So this is 15, so that means like especially if you're going back to the note, just less work for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at your hand. Like
Right,
here, you're
'cause-
like,
Because all the tension will come from the closest spot,
Yeah.
the highest up on the neck.
And maybe, ironically, for some beginners, it's actually easier to play up here than it is like to reach all the way down
you don't
here.
have it to stretch as wide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
that checks out. As long as you know where you are on the frets.
Yeah,
Imagine.
that's my little tip on this song. The only other lead parts are octave parts, which is a shape that everybody should learn, and it's super common in this type of music. It's like a power chord, but you're not on adjacent strings.
Right, and you're just
Can
muting-
be played with 1-3 or 1-4.
Yeah. And
slid
a
around.
lot of songs you'll switch back and forth between. Well, if you're going from say A and D, so the yellow and
Mhm.
orange strings.
Oh,
No,
good point.
A-
This
A
shape
and
is
G.
different.
A and G. Yeah.
The shape that starts on the D string, because our B string on guitar is tuned down a half step, so we have to account for that. So that's why this octave shape, you're stretching one fret longer than this one. So
And if you're jumping octaves between those two
yeah,
strings.
you got to learn how to like. Well, it's not that hard.
Yeah. There's
after a
some-
while.
So to sit down and practice.
There's
yeah.
there's tougher things to do.
right. But that's probably something good to start with. I mean, it's
Yeah,
probably
octaves.
nice.
This is a great beginner song. I
Yeah,
think.
I think so. Emmy,
Yes, sir.
what's going on with the bass?
It's pretty good.
You
I
got
like the deep tone. You can screw yourself out to it. If
Yeah.
I didn't have my hat on, I'd be rocking out, man.
Swinging around. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
asked her to bring the hat. Thanks. 'cause
Then
I didn't
made-
want
then I
to
made him keep the
I'm having a
glasses on.
bad
You
hair
wanna be
day,
the
which is
only-
like
Oh,
every
okay.
day.
I'm sorry. I should have worn a hat as well.
I thought
didn't-
you were gonna be like, we have a new face coming up, and here's an old face, like literally an old face.
Oh no, I would never. I will leave that sort of thing to Greg Studley,
Okay.
who is not here right now to make fun of you. So I guess you got off scot-free.
All right. Well,
All right, we're gonna go ahead and give away our first Ernie Ball prize pack of the day. Thank you again to Ryan and Emmy for stopping by and playing some praise with us. So if you're in the chat and you want to win a collection of items from Ernie Ball, now is your chance. One of two chances that you'll have throughout the stream. If you want to enter, please listen to what UB Jurassic says in the chat. He will be your guide on the path to prizes, guide on the path to victory. Just listen to what he says in the chat for your chance to win one of everything that you are about to see on your screen. If you win, you're going to receive a 6-string set of set of 6 strings. Words are really difficult today. I apologize, everyone listening and trying to follow along in chat. You're going to get 2 sets of strings. You're going to get one 6-string set for your guitar, one 4-string set for your bass. Both of these are Ernie Ball regular slinky strings. You're going to receive a dozen picks from Ernie Ball. These are a sort of medium-heavy gauge, as well as 3 Spectrum Plectrum picks from us here at Ubisoft San Francisco. Also, you are going to get a guitar strap from Ernie Ball. I actually don't know what color these are. I just got the box of the new shipment downstairs, and I haven't yet opened it, so I don't know what color they are. They may still be black, they may be red, they may be white. Who knows? Be really any color in or outside of the rainbow. You're also going to get a package of the Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes. This is a collection that will help you keep your guitar's strings, body, and fretboard nice and clean, maintained. And you're also going to receive a peg winder from Ernie Ball. All that can be yours if you listen to what UB Jurassic says in the chat. And if you win, you will receive a whisper from UB Jurassic. That again is Brian Turner. He is in North Carolina, helping you out there in the chat. And he will get from you your name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. We do need all of that information in order to get your prize to you. We do ship internationally, and if you are outside of the U.S., please separate your address line by line to make sure that you get your prize efficiently and quickly, and without it returning back to this office, and I have to look at it and be sad that you didn't get your prize. It happens sometimes. I don't like it when it happens, but it does happen. We're about ready to say hello to our next guest. I think there's possible some miscommunication, and so we may have a special guest, or I might take it. Do you want me to take it? Okay. All right. No, we're gonna roll with it. Okay. Well, welcome back. Next, we've got right now we have 2 more guests. Immediately to my left, Francois Luong.
Hey, Doug Lily.
Hello. Welcome back. You're supposed to be here right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm not on vacation anymore.
Dan Amrick.
Hi, I was running the board until the person that was
Yeah.
supposed to play the song did not magically materialize.
Yeah. I wonder if I didn't tell
so-
that person. Anyway, do you want me to
that would
play,
be
or
bad.
do you want? I mean,
No,
this
I'm.
isn't a-
Hey, you know what?
got
I
it?
can do
Okay.
a pody. I can
I
blind
did
read.
practice it. If that matters at all.
No.
Okay. No. Have fun
I'll
with
do
it.
it.
Dan Amrick
Hi.
on the bass all of a sudden.
All of a sudden on the bass on a
yeah.
song I've never heard. I think
All right, cool.
it's more entertaining. If you've
Sure.
practiced, they don't want to see
Yeah,
quality.
yeah.
They want to see this is NASCAR, right? They
Right,
want to see
right.
an incident.
No,
This is an
I didn't
incident.
grow up in NASCAR, so I have no clue what.
Oh,
It's like Formula
basically,
1.
people don't care who wins the race because all the cars drive in a circle. What they want to see is a big fiery crash of 5 dudes slamming into each other. That's my bass style on songs that I've never heard before.
Writing that down for later.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna play Black. I don't know if you knew this, Dan.
I did not.
Black is the name of the song you're about to play.
Last time, the only thing I know about Black is that I chose it from the menu when I was running the audio board and the game. In
Yeah.
the back.
Okay. So
By the way, please make sure I'm on rhythm guitar so that somebody gets revenge for all the times that I've done things wrong.
no, you should probably stay on. You should probably have it.
Hey,
the song
Doug, is this
bass.
finger style or pick?
I'd probably pick. Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. Play what you want. Start with a. It's easier to start with a pick and then just.
And then just
drop it
throw the
if you
pick
don't
out
need
at
it.
the audience. All right.
It's for you.
Yeah, speaking of pick, I got a tip from David, who's on
Okay.
the board right now.
Uh-huh.
Since, all of my guitars are strings with 10
Yeah.
hands, and which means that whenever you're done tuning to anything lower than these 10, it's really spaghetti-like. So play with a thicker pick. And this is Dave gave me this pick, which is a Dunlop Flow 1.5 millimeter. It's now surprisingly my favorite pick.
Okay.
Those
All right.
are probably, I got Emmy Lee hooked on those because David gave me some, and then I bought some, and then I was like, oh, I fell out of love with it, and I gave them all
Yeah.
to Emmy, and she's like, this is the best pick. And I'm like, well, you can have them all.
I feel like
No.
you're doing what Brian Pody tried to do with the jazz style picks. Well, I think David is being more successful with spreading a pick style.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Pody just tells you you're playing the wrong pick and
Yeah.
then says you should get a new one. But
I-
David says, try this, I think you might like it, and then people do. It's funny how different those people
I
can
think
be.
Brian might be right, but I'm not. I still have too many non-jazz picks to really confirm or deny. So Black, I see you brought your Gretsch today. Why did you select this guitar for?
Because I did try to play it on my Strat, and because of the floating tram, the tuning, it's pretty much set up for E standard.
E standard,
So
maybe drop D.
maybe drop D,
Maybe.
certainly E standard E flat,
Okay.
but E flat drop D flat.
Starts getting
yeah,
little,
it's
little
the,
loosey-goosey.
the tuning stability wasn't there.
Okay.
So this one has a fixed bridge, which means that intonation notwithstanding, it's keeping the tuning.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the song. This is Black, once again by Sevendust. If you have any more questions, please ask us in the chat. Ubisoft will get those to us.
Save me, fingerprint zones.
What is that symbol?
What?
the arrow,
The
circle.
the hammer-on harmonic.
Hammer-on harmonic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the first song.
Yeah.
I've ever seen it.
So that's a fun symbol.
Yeah.
Did I really just get 97% on,
yeah,
on a
Dan.
dry read? That's better than the song I was supposed to play today. Wow, that's funny.
Spoiler alert.
Exemplary performance.
That is
Yeah, you
playing
are coming up.
triple duty today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing,
been a
doing
busy,
lot.
busy
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
fun.
Again, yeah, very, very sort of rhythmically focused.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
chugging.
chuggy.
I mean, in
Yeah,
a good way.
impressive,
Like,
yeah.
chugging is not a negative adjective, but it drives, it finds its groove, and it stays in that groove.
Yeah, it knows the song knows what it wants.
Yep.
And again, you've got another more difficult than the solo in Praise, but still a fairly accessible solo.
Yeah, it's
gonna
mostly
let you learn some of those
minor
shapes.
minor pentatonic.
Yep. Yep, just get into those patterns and learn those patterns. That's it. All right. I do have a couple questions. Pacific
Ask
Stranded
me
Time.
I know everything about Pearl Jam's Black. Go right ahead.
Oh yes.
I was like, this is the worst Pearl Jam cover ever.
Pacific Stranded Time wants to know what's something interesting you found out about Sevendust that you hadn't heard before.
They did that song. I literally
It
had
hasn't been in the
this
inside.
week. I didn't even
Yeah.
have time to listen to our own DLC trailer. Like I'm
been
I'm
busy, yeah.
unfamiliar with Sevendust, and I was just like, I guess it's heavy. Like that's all I knew.
Yeah.
It's some sort of heavy music. So that's what I learned.
Okay.
Francois?
Francois.
Very popular at the beginning of the millennium.
Okay. There you go. There you go. That's I'll ask some other guests. We'll see,
Yeah.
what kind of information we have. Yeah. And I think that the song pretty much speaks for itself. I mean, you get the.
It's really
those-
fun.
Yeah. It's a
It's
fun,
a lot of fun.
chuggy rhythmic banger, I guess.
And
Are people
yes,
still
I
saying
recommend a pick.
Oh, pick for that.
I,
okay.
I had preset myself. You were talking about your picks. When I play
Yeah.
bass, I tend to like the triangle picks. You gave me some Clayton triangle picks that I
Yes.
actually like best of all. But I had thrown one of my spare old Fender Heavy triangles up here just in case something like this ever happened. Always wear fresh underwear and keep a triangle pick in the pick
Yeah.
bin.
It was
Yeah.
very useful to me last week when I played the RD Chris Novoselic, and I
Oh.
was still
Oh, yeah.
recovering from a bloody
Yeah,
pistol.
Yeah,
the,
that thing-
the RD has
that-
like 105s on, very heavy
the
strings,
bass is
very
a
like bridge
beast.
cables, and the action is a little
Yeah.
high on that bass. So,
Yep.
and a big beefy neck. So you really, it's a commitment to play the
Yeah,
the
you
Novoselic.
have to sort of
Gibson.
you have to break it like you would a wild horse.
Oh.
Bronco.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's really like you do have
Nah,
to sort
Fender
of like
Broncos play real easy.
All right. Well, I
Fenders.
think we're gonna take a quick break. I want to thank once again Francois and Dan
Thank you,
for,
Doug.
for volunteering and then stepping in.
Yeah.
just jumping
That's
on
all right.
and
Somebody in
getting
this
ready.
office owes me one now.
Oh, I think they're in the chat too. So I wonder if they.
I wonder
know-
if they knew that they were supposed to be. That's why we're
wonder if
not
they
naming
know-
names, because
Right.
it's very possible that it was a busy day,
Yeah, it's
and
very
maybe that
possible that-
person just didn't find out.
that was a failure on my part to let them know when they should be here.
Mhm.
But who knows? Who knows? We're past it now. We made it
Well,
through,
Yeah,
and we're
doesn't
just gonna
matter.
look towards the future because the future is
You
bright.
know, maybe we should have this person playing dance spot.
Oh
No,
no!
no,
'Cause
I'm
I
looking
think
forward to
Dan
doing
wants
mine.
To play
Yeah.
his
Oh,
spot.
I want to play
yeah.
mine.
All right. Well, let's really soon we'll find out what that spot is. Right now, we're gonna take a look at a quick video. This is one of the Brennan Small ads. So we're gonna take a look at Brennan Small, and while that's going on, we're giving away 5 copies of this week's DLC, the Sevendust Song Pack for Steam, in the chat. So once again, please listen to what UB Jurassic is telling you in the chat for your chance to win 1 to 5 copies of the Sevendust Song Pack for Steam, and we'll be right back right after that.
Plug any electric guitar or bass into your PC or game console and learn to play in 60 days with Rocksmith, the fastest way to learn guitar. Available now.
Didn't you write this song? Yes. But I I forgot how to play it.
And welcome back. I am still Doug Lilly, your host and the community developer for Rocksmith, and I'm trying to lean way out of frame, but that's fine. Welcome back again. If you're just joining us, we are taking a look at the Sevendust Song Pack, which just came out on Tuesday. We are halfway through the stream. We're about to take a quick departure from Sevendust to look at a band that was noted as inspiring Sevendust. So we are going to play some extra music. While we're preparing for that, if you have any requests, we heard a lot of people ask about Denial this week. If you are interested in a song that maybe didn't make it into the song pack, but you would still like to hear, hit our website. Go to rocksmith.com. At the top of that page, there is a link for a song request option, and you can go to the song request page and let us know what songs you want to play. We'll talk a little bit more about Denial later, because I think the person who will be with me on the last song has some information about that. Or maybe I'll tell you. We'll find out really soon. And if you're on social media, we are on Twitch. We're on Twitch right now. We're on Twitter. We are on Instagram. Both of those we are at Rocksmith Game. We are also on Facebook, facebook.com/Rocksmith. That's the easiest way to find us. And Facebook will just direct you to your local Rocksmith page. We are about ready to say hello to our next guests. This is that new face that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if you're. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Everybody, we're on.
Hi.
So you, we don't know you. Well, we're about to.
I know her.
You know her.
I kind of know her.
You kind of know her.
Because we're old coworkers
Okay.
from like 3 months ago.
Sure.
But yeah.
This is Layla.
Hi.
Layla Abdul Rauf. Did I get that? Hopefully I got that right. So you've been sort of with us for like Dan just mentioned about 3 months.
That's right.
But this is the first time I think either of us have ever met you. So that's fun.
First day.
So yeah, let's talk about Layla. What Layla's doing here. So what are we doing here, Dan?
Well, as some of you know, because you are big fans of Rocksmith.com, we post an article every week. It's just generally a little insight, maybe some theory talk, maybe some history, a little dive into technique, or maybe just some music appreciation about a song that's in the Rocksmith catalog. We have more than 1,400 songs, so there's plenty to talk about. But this started out as a column of that we did many years ago called Backtrack Spotlight. And real old-timers will remember Backtrack Spotlight. And so we realized, hey, we've got the time and we've got the space, let's start sprucing them up. And so we did that, and then we started to run out of really good Backtrack Spotlights, and we had to generate new ones. And so, hey, now that we have a better way to do it, what if we got an actual writer to actually write for us? And that's where Layla comes in. You're in Oakland,
I am.
and you're a death metal guitarist.
Among other things. but
Among
yeah.
other things. Well, okay, I'm going to embarrass Layla because if you search guitarworld.com for Layla's name, it will show up in, I believe, the best 25 metal tones of all time.
Yeah.
I was shocked myself.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, your name is right there alongside of James Hetfield and Tony Iommi and every major metal player you can think of who has a distinctive tone. And there's you with your band
Vastum.
Vastum. And I listened to it and I was like, that is a really good tone. But yeah, so you play with Vastum, but then you also do your own music, which is more ambient, right? So, I mean, very, very different worlds.
Kind of cinematic, soundtracky
Okay.
type music.
What sort of arrangements? What sort of instrumentation do you use in the ambient?
Actually, surprisingly, mostly trumpet and synths and
Okay.
piano.
I just did not expect trumpet to be the thing that you said.
Ambient trumpet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll see what that's about.
But in her copious free time, when
Yes.
she's not on tour and when she's not recording original stuff and holding down your day job, we've been asking Layla to write like on the nights and weekends to fill in stuff. So naturally, being an ambient musician and being a metal guitarist, you are really going to enjoy her piece on the Cars, which is on. It turns out you're a big fan of New Wave. So if you look at the website, just go. They're posted chronologically backwards. There's no real easy way to search them right now. But if you search, you did a fantastic piece. One of my favorite pieces that you've done is the history of Stevie Wonder's superstition and sort of the sort of kerfuffle that happened with Jeff Beck. Over that,
Can we say kerfuffle on?
I believe we can. I believe they've lifted the ban on that.
All right.
You did a really nice Riot Girl primer to sort of explain Sleater Kinney and where they were in music history. You did 3 ways that everybody can improve their tone. That you wouldn't like, regardless of what style of music you play. How are you using your guitar, and what are you doing differently? What could you be doing differently to improve your? So I think you've got 5 or 6 articles up there,
so,
and
yeah.
they are all really good.
And that's all at rocksmith.com. Once
Yes.
again, go to rocksmith.com, hit news, and all of the news articles are there. We're updating frequently. Well,
We're
yeah,
updating once a week.
once a week. Yeah.
But today we had the opportunity to have a meeting about like, hey, what do we want to do with editorial in the future, and how's it been going, and all that stuff. And I was like, can you come in? I'll buy you lunch. And
That's all he had to say.
yeah, that was it. She's like, sure, you got salad, I'm here. So, so I was like, hey, while we're here, do you want to play Sevendust? She's like, I'd like to play guitar, but I'm not really all that familiar with Sevendust. So we looked at what Sevendust's influences were,
Yep.
and they're who you would expect: Metallica and Pantera and Anthrax. And she went, "Oh, Anthrax,
Sure, why not?
yeah."
That could have been your answer to what you learned about Sevendust this week.
Oh, yeah, but I
were
was
inspired.
saving it for this bit.
Okay. What did you learn about Sevendust this week?
I learned that they're actually probably a pretty great live band.
Yeah.
I did watch a live concert. It looked like a huge, like Wacken Open Air or one of those big international fests. And the singer's like a super hype man. Like,
Yeah.
really gets the crowd going. I was amazed.
Now, did you see an electric or an acoustic show?
It was an electric show.
Electric, because I know.
Oh,
they
I didn't know they did.
They do a lot of acoustic.
Interesting.
Which I'll talk about a little bit later
All
in
right.
our last song. But yeah, real quick before we get into the song you're playing, Madhouse by Anthrax. Where can if people want to find your music, where might they be able to do that?
Bandcamp. So Vastum, VASTUM. We're on a label called 20 Buck Spin that's based in Pittsburgh. They
Okay.
were on the West Coast. And then my solo music, I also have a Bandcamp page, and yeah, I did have vinyl. It was sold out.
Oh, well, that's a good problem to have, yeah.
Well, we don't have a link in the chat right now, but we can probably get one for next time.
Cool.
We'll
All
do
right.
that for you. All right, let's take a look at Madhouse by Anthrax.
And again, I did better at the Sevendust, and I've practiced this a couple of times. So please be gentle.
It's time for your medication, Mr. Brown.
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
all
you
right.
go. Yeah, he's got some.
I made my
classic
my
shred.
hand is super crampy now because I'm like, the more I play and I'm grabbing the pick. Oh, 96, that's not too bad. That's actually better than I did at my desk. So, yay
Well,
me.
I don't know if you're supposed to like have a death grip on it.
I'm not supposed to, and that's something that every time I
So
play
death
this
grip's
song,
not confirmed.
thank you. It reminds me that I'm probably grasping too tightly because I get into the groove
Yep.
and I want to play harder, and that makes
Right.
me like tense up all the muscles in my right hand.
Are
and
you
then
choking up on the pick too?
a
Is
little
it-
bit, yeah.
Well,
And
You might want to choke up more.
like that, like
Yeah.
even less tip. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You might have more
Yeah.
control and less
See, this is why she's
muscle
here.
weight.
So yeah, and one thing that I learned recently is that you could, if you're using an electric guitar or bass, you can let the electric do a lot of the work for you.
It's true.
So you don't have to.
There's these
Exactly.
you
pickups
don't have
in
to
here,
like hang on it. Like you can just turn it. There's a volume. You can.
Yeah.
It can be louder.
but it's fun to play.
It is.
hard.
It
It
is
is
fun
fun to
to
play.
play
it. Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
And
mean-
it's taken me a long time to break myself of that, because that was definitely like I just tore through strings.
You also
on
get
bass.
injuries that way if you're.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Tearing
I
it.
would hurt basses because I would drop them. They would
Yeah.
fall. Look, let's be real. Yeah, it's fine. It happens. Do
Stupid gravity.
had a couple questions. Layla. So yeah, usually when we have new people here on the stream, we do like to talk about their guitar history a little bit. So when did you start? When did you
I'm
start?
self-taught, which
Okay.
there's a caveat to that because
Okay.
I studied
We-
music since I was 6 years old and
Okay.
have all this, band orchestral background. But then guitar was like I was 13 years old and I told myself I was going to teach myself.
Yeah.
No one's going to interfere with the process.
Right.
and So yeah, I'm completely self-taught. in
So
guitar.
well, that's okay. So that seems like something really made you want to learn guitar. What was it that made you want to learn guitar?
Oh, well, I always liked loud music and weird music and that kind of thing. But funny enough, I was in middle school when I first started teaching myself guitar, and it was with Beatles songbooks.
Okay.
So that was like, my parents were super supportive around that. That was their music, their generation of music,
Yeah.
and so I had the songbooks and the chords, and I learned how to read all the, not the tabs, but the
Notation.
chord,
Sure, the
chord
chord
notation.
boxes.
The
yeah.
chord boxes, exactly. Yeah. So
From Norwegian wood
from
to
there to-
Rain and Blood.
pretty
They-
much.
yeah.
Well, it was some years in between, but
Norwegian
Okay.
Blood. We're waiting for mashup to happen.
Do have a couple more questions from the chat. This is actually just this is a comment from Biscobid or Biscobid. I'm never sure. If
I
it's
think it's
Biscobid.
Biscobid.
I think it's Biscobid.
Oh, yeah?
I could be wrong.
Well,
We'll
he'll
find
tell
out.
us.
We'll find out.
Type it in phonetically, Bis.
First, great to put a face with a name. Second, yes, Layla's articles have been awesome, but I really appreciate the one on the cars.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
So yeah. Also, any pro tips for carpal tunnel sufferers? That comes from Mr. Kelland, maybe.
Ice, ice, baby.
Ice.
That does
Ice is
help.
good.
And also, not missing, like, those of you who use keyboards, I actually have, I'm sure, we call them my Pat Benatar gloves.
Yeah.
I have little wrist gloves that just sort of wrap around my thumb so that wherever I go, I have that carpal tunnel support because I used to have serious problems with it, and I don't like the stationary carpal
Right.
tunnel pads. So you can get carpal tunnel pads that will go with you wherever you move your hand on the mouse or on the desk or whatever. I use that every day. Like I have a set of those at work.
I also do want to point out, I think it's very important to note that none of us are medical professionals.
Oh, yeah,
to
that's
my
true.
knowledge.
Yeah.
I just
so-
bought that stuff on Amazon. I'm just saying,
But ice can.
Yeah, ice helps, but and resting, but also just not risking. Oh, I'm just going to use it for a little bit. Every little bit can hurt.
Okay.
And it can.
I
can
think
really
your
flare it
strap
up.
position too has a lot of it. I don't have carpal tunnel, so
Okay.
I'm not making claims about carpal tunnel. But when you play, you have the strap on super low. You're like
bending your
playing
wrist.
at this weird angle, and
Yeah.
it puts a lot of strain on the wrist. That if you play a little higher up, it's more ergonomic.
At what price do you look cool?
Right,
It-
right.
there's
Like,
that
if you got to be if you got to look a little bit dorkier in order to
It's a
add an
little
extra 10
dorky,
years to
but-
your guitar playing,
Exactly.
it'll look a little dorky. It's fine. Your music will cover for you.
Brian Shu wears his guitar
Yeah,
really
yeah.
high. He doesn't look dorky. You won't look dorky.
I do too.
And Guitar Princess 2 wants to know what's the best way to get used to playing the frets above the 12th fret. If you have
No, I
any
never go up
in
there. I'm a rhythm
particular-
guitarist.
There's rhythm stuff that happens up there.
I think
Nope.
the
Some Duran Duran?
person
No?
before mentioned anchoring, because
Yeah.
anchoring, the frets get smaller as you get past the 12th fret. Just want to have the shape that you're playing in mind, and you don't have to move as much. It's smaller movements. It's less is more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I want to say thank you both for stopping by. Once again, Layla and Dan, the office scoundrel, and
I'm the office scoundrel?
that's what I had in my notes.
I think my wife is watching. How did I earn that title?
It's just like a role. That's
Oh,
just what
okay.
I've assigned you.
Oh,
this
all
week.
right.
It's fine.
I just
Um,
thought I was the word guy.
Word guy.
Yeah, word guy's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word guy. Dan.
Dan the word guy.
All
Hi.
right. All right. Well, again, thank you. And right now, if you are interested in Sevendust and the sort of alternative metal scene, here are a couple bands in case you missed them. Also included in the Rocksmith library, if you are looking for some alternative metal, these may or may not be associated with the new metal label. It's a bit of a controversial genre, I'll admit, so I'm not going to put anybody in or out of that terms, but some people do put that label on some of these bands. But Chevelle, really interesting, really rhythmically interesting, fun riffs on the Chevelle song pack, which includes The Red, Hats Off to the Bull, and Vitamin R leading us along. Also, Stained, which I believe might still be, but at least was for a time, I think some of our lowest tuned songs in the library. That song pack includes It's Been a While, So Far Away, and Outside. All of those are available in Rocksmith. Also, the song you just heard, Madhouse by Anthrax, also available in Rocksmith. On the way, we've got one more song. We have one more giveaway that's going to come up after that song. And again, thank you for joining us. We are very glad to have you here in the chat, asking us questions, taking our prizes. And again, speaking of prizes, thanks once again to Ernie Ball. They've been extremely supportive in making sure we have all this cool stuff to give to you. So thanks to them. It's a bit premature right now since we're between raffles. But that one is coming up. I think it's probably safe. It's probably safe to say hello, even though they're tuning. I'm just going to push things along. Coming up right now with me, finishing up their tuning, to my immediate left, David Stevens, QAzar. How's it going? Hello. I don't think you have a mic yet.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
there you go. There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
David Stevens and Brian Mouth
Hi.
Sounds Shoe.
Yeah, that was disturbing. Now I'm uncomfortable.
So yeah, you guys are doing Angel's Son.
Yes.
The final song in the Sevendust song pack. Brian Shu, I want to point out I don't know if you're sight reading this, but you did. No, you're not sight reading this, but you came on board. I think you were the third person to be on the
I
list
am
for this
sight
song.
reading this. I
You are
haven't
sight
seen
reading?
this
Okay.
in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're practically.
You did note track this,
Sight
though,
reading.
didn't you?
I leveled it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I forgot who transcribed
It's been a while.
it. Yeah.
So wait,
that
was
was
Stained.
Yeah. Okay. So Sevendust. Now, earlier we had the question from Pacific Stranded Time. What's something interesting you found out about Sevendust that you haven't heard before? Brian Shu, I'll start with you because I know David has some things.
You mean of the band?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. If you happen to have
actually
learned anything.
they just happen to be one of those bands that I've always heard a lot about, but I didn't really ever listen to them all that much. But after this pack, I was just like, wow, like I really actually like their aesthetic and everything that they do. What's the singer's name?
LeJean Witherspoon.
Oh man, such a beast.
Yeah.
Love the vocals. This tune has some really cool tunings from what I remember. I think the lead
Yeah,
uses
it's like
some
a
C sharp sus 4.
C sharp 6, I think.
C sharp
a-
6 sus 4
Yeah,
or
it's
something like that.
Radiohead
It's
thing.
Really
something
neat.
really weird. Yeah.
Actually, can we?
It
Is
looks
that,
more complicated than it is.
Is that what you're in right now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe after the song, we'll just take a
Sure.
Yeah.
listen to that tuning.
Bass is in drop C sharp though.
Drop C sharp
or D
Okay.
flat. depending on
How you're looking at it, from which
what
direction
you
you're looking
prefer.
at it. Sure.
Yeah.
Now, David, same question to you. I know you had a lot of information about Sevendust before this week.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
what-
can't
so
really
what do
say
you-
I learned anything new.
What's some stuff that you're bringing?
I bought their first album on the day it came out, so that's and I've loved them ever since.
So how did you know it was coming?
How did I know this song was
No.
coming?
How did you know what you bought their first album day it came out?
Black had actually been on the radio prior to the album coming out.
So singles
it was-
singles
yeah,
works.
Back
Singles
in,
work.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
I want to say 97. Like
That sounds right.
yeah,
That
I
sounds
was I was all of 17.
I was in high school. Yeah. Sure.
17, Sevendust.
Yeah, yeah.
So we want to talk a little bit about
Conspiracy wheels
uh,
are spinning.
you wanted to talk a little bit about this song in particular.
Yeah, this song
So
has
tell us.
an interesting, if sad, origin. Back then in the 90s, there was a band called Snot, who I'm also a big fan of. Unfortunately, they only ever got to put out one album because the singer was involved in a drunk driving accident and unfortunately passed away.
Yep.
His name was Lynn Strait. Fantastic voice. I highly recommend the Snot album. It is an adult album, so bear that in mind.
Explicit.
But it's kind of a nice burrito of different styles. You know, there's like metal, groove, funk. There's some punk in there. There's a little bit of everything in there. That
A lot of those sort of blends of sounds that you would get.
Yeah,
in the late
yeah,
90s.
and it all works. And they really, they never really sounded like anything else. And I mean, the future was bright in my opinion. But yeah, unfortunately, he did pass away, and they didn't get to really move on as a band. The singer for Sevendust, LeJean Witherspoon, and then the guitar player for Snot, Sonny Mayo, who actually went on to be the guitar player for Sevendust for an impressive stretch of time, had sat down and written Angel's Son together. And it's a slightly different version than the one Sevendust later recorded.
Right.
But so the version we have here is the one that Sevendust did in the studio.
So so the original version, was it a live recording?
I
it might
don't
have been
think so.
Not a live recording, but it was.
You can find it on YouTube. There's actually a great tribute video that goes with
and it was
the Snot version of
it was
of
for
the song.
a tribute album.
Yeah.
for
So
the lead
what happened? I mean, back then, all these metal bands were essentially a giant family.
Yeah.
And they all toured together. They were all friends. Bands like System of a Down, Incubus, Sugar Ray, Disturbed. Like all the big names from the late '90s. All those bands got together and basically helped fill in vocals for the Lost Snot album.
Yeah.
To help finish that out. It became a tribute album called Straight Up. You can probably find that online too. Okay. Also a great album, and tons of talent on there, and everybody kind of just getting together and in memoriam.
Yeah.
For Lynn Strait, and then so this song is essentially about his passing, and kind of a bit of catharsis for the band and his family and all their friends.
All right. Well, thank you, David. Let's get into it. This is Angel's Son on the Sevendust song pack.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, there's that chord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is changing, and I can't go on without you. Rearranging, I will be strong. I'll stand by you. You are fighting every day, so what about the pain? I know you never said goodbye. I had so much left to say. One last song.
got that. You got it in there.
Yeah, I forgot there was one last
Yeah.
thing in there.
So yeah, really, really pretty song.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really great.
Kind
It's
of a chimey bell tone to that whole
And like I
tuning.
kind of
Yeah.
like when I note tracked this song and was playtesting, I was like, man, I kind of wish that rockin' ending kind of went on again because I love that. But then it just kind of like, you know, I think it's really great that the song kind of left me wanting a lot more.
It's like a little
Yeah.
bit bittersweet when it ends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it doesn't
It's a nice,
quite
Totally.
nice
resolve.
build up, bit of a
Like, yeah.
climax, and then tapers off.
So let's talk about the tuning a bit.
Yeah. So,
See if you're able to get some
Um,
volume.
I mean, you can think of it basically as a like a drop C sharp tuning
Sure.
for the bottom strings. You've got that chord, but you've got another chord on the top strings.
Oh.
And really the idea is the B and the E strings are tuned to kind of give you that pedal tone that
Yeah.
you're hearing in a lot of the. It's always ringing out in everything you're playing,
Yeah.
and it services the song. You know, it's a pretty unusual tuning.
Yeah.
But,
For sure.
when,
let's
when
see-
you're in that tuning, I mean, the chords might look a little complicated, but they're actually pretty approachable to play.
Yeah. They're just not shapes that you would necessarily be accustomed to,
Yeah,
to using
exactly.
because of the tuning. So if you were say you were what you wanted to write a song and you wanted to play with your with the tuning a bit, would you say it would be good to just kind of pick a chord, tune to that chord?
Yeah,
and then,
I mean that is a way to do it
play
as
around?
long as you aren't breaking your strings.
Right. Like don't tune anything more than like
yeah.
half or maybe a whole step above what you would
Mhm.
normally above like E standard or whatever the guitar would normally be set to.
I mean, I've heard of some people just tuning and like not even checking to see what notes they are, and then they
and then just playing around, seeing what
just
sounds you
playing,
can get.
just trying to make music.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to know
that
exactly what you're
Radiohead?
doing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all. I guess it's all.
There's no rules.
Just write
Just
and then figure out what you're tuned to with a tuner later.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or like kind of approximate it too. You know, you don't want to be like E kind of flat tuning.
Yeah. I mean, you might.
I mean, yeah.
But
we,
I mean,
we
you
talked
might,
about
yeah.
Pantera earlier.
Yeah, that's true.
Dimebag was notorious for tuning somewhere
Yeah.
between E and E flat.
Bad if you want to play with a piano player though.
Do they not usually like that sort of thing?
They just need that whammy bar.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So
That was a
yeah,
collab.
Toy Machine,
Oh, was it?
Toy Machine
Yeah.
SH. Just the question is just why that tuning? And I
why
think-
not?
What? There you go, Toy Machine. That's what do you, yeah. Brian says, what are you
if
gonna
it
do,
puts
Toy
you-
Machine?
If it puts you in a different frame of mind for songwriting, especially, then you know that's really great. That it inspires you to come up with all these different.
Allows you to
new
surprise
things.
yourself.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to make interesting decisions.
If you're in a rut with songwriting, try a different tuning because you'll be probably surprised with what you can come up with. You can probably even just like move one finger around and come up with some really cool chord voicings.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know this whole thing is already a chord. So I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. I think. I think that's about it.
Is
I think.
it?
I think we're done.
We
I think
made
we're
it.
done. Everyone. We made it. We
We
made it to the end.
survived.
Oh,
it
we're
was a
done.
rocky start.
We're finished forever.
But yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Brian, for stopping by.
Do I still have my job after this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course. Right now, well, we're not quite ready to say farewell yet, but right now we do have our final giveaway of the stream. So please listen to UB Jurassic in the chat so that you can win one of these Ernie Ball prize packs. We're giving away one more today, and if you win, you'll see everything that is on your screen right now. That's 2 sets of strings, 12 picks from Ernie Ball, 3 picks from us here at Ubisoft San Francisco. You are going to get an Ernie Ball guitar strap of unknown color, and you're going to get a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes and a peg winder. All that can be yours if you win. Just listen to UB Jurassic. You do have to follow the channel in order to win. And if you are the lucky winner, Brian, UB Jurassic, will reach out to you in chat to get, in Whisper, to get your name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. Again, we need all that information. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. We are going to take off. Tomorrow morning, there will be a clue in the Rocksmith forums. That's rocksmith.com. Just look for the link to the forums at the top, and then in the DLC section of the forums at 10 a.m. Eastern time, That is 7 a.m. Pacific. Brian Turner, UB Jurassic, will post a clue from RS222, who makes the clues for us every week, pretty much. Again, we're on social media. We've seen all those throughout the chat. But again, we are at Rocksmith Game on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Rocksmith. You can find us there. And we will be back next Thursday with another stream. And we will see you there. Here's one more look at Sevendust.